What's going on, my mad people? It's the Madcrownxox, and I'm here to give you a review of Blockade Battlefront and Beyond, Episode 2. Now, before I get into this episode, I just want to say I've seen a lot of thoughts on people and how they feel about this anime. And from the previous season, a lot of people don't like to review it because they say there's no plot to it, or there's just no storyline till the very end. I have to quite disagree with them on that. First of all, just because it's episodic doesn't mean there's no plot there. It's about development and atmosphere of a story. And of course, there's tons and tons of lore in this show. So despite the fact that even some people say there's no story to it, one thing that drives me into anything is the lore. Because I just love to find things out, like why does this happen, how it came to be. Those are the things that I strive for when I'm reading a story. So since this show has tons of lore to offer me, of course I'm sticking around and finding out what's going on. Now on to this episode. We finally get to see some plot development within the world itself. On the day, on January 1st, a new era arrived called the Great Collapse, and holy crap, everything was just all over the place. Like, space and time was completely disoriented. Buildings were flying, people were everywhere, injuries, death, monsters start to collide. So it's like this was the time when the parallel world was colliding within our world and started to slowly come in. And this was 3 years ago when Klaus was still in New York. But now that New York was gone, because everything started to change, the world started to collide. And here we see a girl named Luciana. And Luciana was a doctor at this hospital, but however she unfortunately died because a vampire came around there and attacked them while the dog killed them. However, a mystical being came along and granted her turned to a new kind of creature. So she's no longer human. And her power seems to be that she's able to split herself up. The more she splits herself up, the younger she is. But as she comes herself together, she looks like what she's supposed to look like on that current day. So yeah, she is no longer human. She's definitely some interesting character, but she just came out of nowhere. But that's what is Blockade Battlefront. You meet tons of interesting characters and they come and they go. I'm so curious about during that time of the Great Collapse, because this was mostly a flashback episode. And yes, there were some on the current time, but mainly it was to understand more about the hospital and more how the world came to be. As you can see, there were tons of injuries and tons of deaths during this Great Collapse, because knowing there would be tons of earthquakes, tons of buildings falling everywhere. You can just already imagine people falling out of buildings and falling into the cracks as the earth opens up and stuff. It was just, terrible. Other than that, they're recruiting themselves in a hospital. I bet there was even no food at all around anywhere because everything was completely destroyed. And there was a time when the monsters took over, like the vampires just easily walking their dogs, looking for people to eat. And that's pretty messed up. But yeah, that's just how their world works. They feed on the weak. So it seems that is what happened to Klaus that was the big mystery. As they were fighting a vampire, everything froze. And then he woke up. He woke up into how Hellsam's lot is now in their current day. Question is how did that happen and what took place during that time? Like, was he just laying there on the ground, or was he transferred into the future? We don't know. All we know is that he was brought into this world. That does also explain why he's so accustomed to old technology, but he can't stand using new technology, pretty much, as you've seen in the previous season. So yeah, Klaus is completely shrouded in mystery of what he is and what he does. And of course, Seven has been with him for years. I guess Seven is like his right-hand man. And Zap. This whole entire episode went completely the way I thought it was going to go. First I thought it was thinking about, it was about the hospital, but I thought it would be more about Leo and Zap trying to find their way around a spooky hospital. But it turns out the hospital is actually completely normal. It looks spooky, but it's just a normal hospital in that custom time. So other than that, it didn't go the way I wanted to, but it went the way I needed to for me to understand more about the world. So other than that, yeah, this episode was meh. The thing that really got me, like I said before, was the lore of this episode. Other than that, I didn't really care much for the current time of happening, because it was just ironic how that vampire just shows up again 3 years later at the same spot, not learning his lesson, and this time it finally dies. So, in a way, the episode felt random to me. But then, yet again, like I said, this is an episodic show that has the plot that's right in the background. So the characters are in the foreground and the plot is in the background for you to actually display and see. So yeah, this episode was just a meh episode. I didn't really care much about it. It was still good, entertaining, but it just introduced characters right in front of your face where you not know about them. Like, okay, it's this person, hey. And the question is, will you see them again? So what importance they had? The only importance about this was the flashback and seeing how the world can be and what were the after effects towards it. So that's what I got for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like, share, and subscribe if you could. I'll be much obliged. This is Madcrownxox, signing out.